So what is the similitude between a director of a choir and a coach of a football team? So let's find out. I'm delighted today to introduce Alain Woodbrige. He is director of the choir of l'Opéra, the Théâtre de Genève, or the Opera House of Geneva. Alain, welcome.
Hello, Katrina.
So if you had to describe yourself and what you do, what would you say?
I'm a professional chorus director. I am currently the chorus director with the Geneva Opera House, or Le Grand Théâtre de Genève. And I look after a group of 42 full-time professional singers, and we do a whole season of music for Geneva and the region.
So what does it take to be a good director of a choir?
You have to be an excellent musician, a singer preferably, which I sort of am, having sung a lot as in my youth. But you have to have an excellent ability musically and interactively with your employees. A lot of personal skills involved. You're working with professional musicians 6 hours a day or so as a minimum in doing rehearsing, preparing them all for a wide range of opera repertoire. So you've got to have a very clear vision about what it is you're doing with the music, and the ability to transfer that to them so that they believe in what you're doing and come up with the goods.
So in fact, it takes a lot of skills, expertise that you have, and also that they trust you and that you're leading them to something even better, if I understand correctly.
Yeah, absolutely. I trained as a pianist and an organist when I was young. I sang a lot. Choral music has always been my passion. But the maîtrise of an instrument as well is very important in the formation of for conductors. You have to have a really good understanding about music, how scores work, how to get the best out of a score, and also, of course, for a chorus master, how to get the best out of the people you're actually working with.
So what does it take to get the best out of people you're working with?
It takes a vision, I think, on your own part. You have to be inspired and be inspiring with them, because given the amount of time you spend with them, they have to believe in what you're doing and have faith in what you're asking them to do. So an intimate understanding of the score in a detailed way is absolutely essential. An understanding of the voice and how voices work together. And in trying to make a team out of the people you're working with, that's the important part of my job, because they're all good singers on their own, but you have to forge them into something which will work as a unit.
So team spirit is essential, it sounds like.
Absolutely. Oh yes. We open a bottle from time to time at the end of a rehearsal because it's part and parcel of the spirit of what one's going for. Yeah.
So what was your biggest challenge ever, being a director of a choir?
I had a big challenge recently in the last season with Geneva, where we were doing La Belle Hélène of Offenbach. And within 3 days of the first night, I was asked to conduct the whole show. So as the chorus master, you prepare the chorus, which is perhaps 1/3 of the most of the musical time of a piece. And suddenly we needed somebody to conduct the whole show. So you have to conduct the orchestra, the soloists, you have to pace the whole thing out, you have to understand the way the production works, be empathetic with all the people backstage, the stage management, the costume needs, etc. And this was quite a challenge, but it was a fantastic opportunity, and it worked really well. Because a chorus master, you must understand, is somebody who prepares his part of a performance for an opera, and you pass on the responsibility of the choir to the orchestral conductor. But there I was having to fill his shoes as well, so it was a big challenge.
Indeed, and what resilience did you have to be able to do that in such a short time and at the last minute?
You have to have a lot of self-belief. You have to be able to conduct, which is very important. You have to have a good sense of arching overall structure for the piece. But when you're working in opera, even just simply working as a chorus master, you have to understand the whole piece in the first place. So the sense of structure and of pacing of a piece is not anathema to what you're doing. It's just that taking it over at short notice, it was quite a challenge, but it was a real pleasure.
So you also mentioned at a conference I attended that you had a similar role as a coach of a football team. Explain, please.
That's right. I'm a big fan of Arsenal Football Club for all my sins. They go through thick and thin. And Arsene Wenger and I share the same initials, AW, and I see him standing on the touchline over a weekend watching his team. And I keep telling myself I must ask him if he'll give me one of his coats with my initials on it. But he has a responsibility, much the same as a choir director, in that he is left on the touchline when it comes to performing. His job, the job of a football trainer and of a chorus master, are very similar in that you have to train your team to work as a team and to find a team spirit and to come up with the goods for a performance. So there's a lot associated with that, this question of having to delegate the responsibility and to fill your singers with the belief and the vision of what it is they've got to do when they are out on stage. So it's really quite similar to football, except that I don't get paid as much as he does, of course.
Yet, maybe.
Yet.
So what would you advise a younger version of yourself?
For any young conductor wanting to go into choral training, don't waste your time. Life is short and you need to get as much experience under your belt while you're young. Listen to as much as you can, work with as many people as you can, perform as much as you can, and just try to work out what it is inside of you that really sets you on fire about music. There are so many aspects to music and music performance in all kinds of styles, but in classical music and specifically in choral music, you have to get your hands dirty, you have to do it, you have to get on with it, and you have to work with people and try to form the sound that you want from the people you're working with. And you can only do that through experience. So get on with it while you're young, is what I would say.
Thank you very much, Alain.
My pleasure.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Katrina Burrus, and this show, the MKB Leadership Show, has been done in conjunction with Dukascope TV. Stay tuned for future episodes, and I hope this session has brought your leadership one step closer to excelling. Thank you.